There's a time to leave and a time to stay, but don't stay all night long. Last night we invited some friends from church for dinner and fellowship. My wife had cooked some peas and taters, wieners and sauerkraut. We all ate homemade dessert, pecan pie and chocolate cake. After we sang for an hour or two, it was getting pretty late. But they all kept on praising the Lord and singing them gospel songs. My wife and I began to think they were staying all night long, but we just couldn't ask them to leave. We knew that was wrong. So my wife looked at me and said,
"Honey, why don't we go to bed so these folks can all go home?"
Last Thursday night was visitation. Our pastor, he came by. We missed church last Sunday morning and he wanted to know why. My wife had just cooked supper. We invited him to stay. We ate and sat and talked a while and then he had to pray. Well, after praying for an hour, that preacher wasn't through. It was getting late and my wife started praying too. When he finally said amen, I was starting to yawn. Then my wife looked at me and said,
"Honey, why don't we go to bed so our pastor can go on home?"
Don't get me wrong, we love having all of our church friends. Like Sunday night after church, we invited 10. We eat and talked and sang a while and played a game or two and prayed for the sick folks like we always do. Then somebody started singing, "I shall not be moved. I'll meet you in the morning." And by that time I knew I was about to get in the flesh and I knew that was wrong. Then my wife looked at me and said,
"Honey, why don't we go to bed so these folks can all go home?"